Welcome back to the WHHI-TV Daily News. With me now is Mike Wagner. He is, of course, with Shore Beach Service, and we're going to get an update on what's going on. And, you know, lots of times we talk about some of the fun things. We've talked about jellyfish stings and so forth. But what you guys do that's the most important is obviously rescue efforts. And you have a couple of things you want to talk to us about today regarding that. First off, we're going to talk about somebody who's getting recognized today for something pretty heroic. So tell us about that.
Yeah, one of our lifeguards, Lucius Hodges, was this was back in June. Pulled somebody out of the water that was unconscious, not breathing, and performed CPR on the gentleman until EMS arrived. You know, with the CPR, it's somewhat rare you get a good outcome, but in this case, we did. I know anytime that somebody on the island save somebody with CPR, the fire department recognizes them. So the fire and rescue is recognizing Lucius today.
Well, that's really exciting. Obviously, it's exciting for Lucius, but
yeah.
You know, you said that before we started filming that the gentleman that he performed the CPR on is going to be at the ceremony. So, I mean, that is got to be such an incredible feeling for both of them, really.
It is, and I know that where Lucius works, this gentleman comes out to the beach a lot, so he gets to, you know, see him every day and be reminded. So definitely what the job's in the end is all about. So really, really neat story.
Very neat story, and you know, of course, we always like the happy ending. So that was a good one today.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And
then we also want to talk about a little bit of warnings because there are some areas on the island that you don't actually patrol that could have some hazards that might see people getting stuck in some mud or on a sandbar. So tell us how we can keep ourselves safe in those areas that you don't actually patrol.
Yeah, one of the main places that's a common beach that people go to are Mitchelville and Fish Hall beach parks on the north end of the island. Like you said, we don't patrol those because Fish Hall Creek keeps us from being able to get up there, but we are called up there, and the fire department's called up there somewhat frequently because people get stuck in the bluff mud. People get out on a sandbar. In fact, a few nights ago, we went out and pulled a mom and dad and a child off the sandbar with our wave runner. But I've always looked at Fish Hall and Mitchelville as not really being a beach to go plan to swim.
Right.
You know, walk along the beach, look for shells and hermit crabs and things like that. But not the best beach for getting in the water because there is so much bluff mud. People get stuck up there. You know, like I said, it seems to me there's a few times every summer that there's calls for us to come up there, calls for the fire department to come up there. And for both of us, the bluff mud's not easy to, you know, just like anybody else, you walk in the bluff mud, you're going to get stuck. So the efforts to get people out of that could be, a pretty big challenge.
Absolutely. And also, you mentioned before we started filming, too, Fish Hall is known for having a lot of oyster shells, which obviously also could cut you pretty badly if you don't know that they're there.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. I mean, you can definitely get some pretty severe cuts from that, for sure.
Yeah. So just best to stay out of the water up there. Enjoy them, but stay out of the water. Yeah. And so we've got about a minute left. I just want to talk about, you know, Ernesto, of course, is going to go way by us, which is great news. But anytime we have a storm that's kind of out there that can kick up some surf around here, then we talk about maybe the possibility of rip currents. So just give us a reminder of what we need to be aware of for rip currents.
Yeah, with rip currents, just remember that's a current that's taking you out towards the water, away from the beach. A couple things to remember with those. The current is generally going to be stronger than you can swim against. Right. Drownings occur frequently with those because people try to fight the current and get exhausted and you know, drown in that way. The exit for a rip current is side to side. Swim out of it sideways and the current will stop pulling you. Another thing you can always do is float. If you just float, the current will kick you out of it, and then you can swim back in from there.
Well, excellent advice all around. And again, congratulations to the, you know, life-saving CPR and the recognition that's happening today. Yeah, we really appreciate the update as always, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you.
And there's more to come, so don't go away.